busiest courthouses isn't hearing the cases of accused killers or million-dollar thieves or so-called career criminals. On the contrary, municipal court in New Orleans handles relatively minor offenses.
It's where those charged with crimes as simple as disturbing the peace or possession of marijuana go before a judge. And as we said, it's a busy place, but not nearly as busy as it should be, because as the I-Team discovered, legions of defendants are not showing up.
Is that a lot?
That's a lot. It's a lot to me. That's a lot of people not showing up for court.
And very little is being done about it. It's a breakdown in the system, leaving cases incomplete, fines unpaid, and active arrest warrants piling up.
WDSU I-Team reporter Travers Mackel is live at 6 now with details on what's going on and why some are calling for a re-examination of the entire setup. Travers?
Scott and Camille, here it is. This stack of paper consists of more than 17,000 names, people the judges at Municipal Court in New Orleans issued attachments or arrest warrants for just last year alone. 17,000 no-shows in 12 months. And while the judges defend what they do, some on this list and others familiar with the court system say something needs to be done, and soon. In a city as big as New Orleans, there are plenty of small-time crimes. Plenty of people cited for minor drug violations or drunk driving, for instance. They end up here in Mid-City at the Orleans Parish Municipal and Traffic Court. 4 judges preside over Municipal Court. They don't handle murders, robberies, and rapes, felony offenses. Those are adjudicated across the street at Tulane and Broad. But the Municipal Court judges do oversee significant misdemeanor cases. Arrested and charged with carrying a gun illegally, you'll end up here. Busted and written a citation for pot possession, disturbing the peace, violating a protective order, or getting into a bar fight, all handled here. Last year, more than 28,000 cases went through municipal court. And while that number is high, it's another one that jumps off the page at Chief Judge Desiree Charbonnet.
We issued 17,878 attachments.
Is that a lot?
That's a lot. It's a lot to me. That's a lot of people not showing up for court.
Judge Charbonnet breaks it down even further.
It comes to about 85 to 90 a day.
An attachment is another term for an arrest warrant. And records show it's a problem that's picked up in recent years. In 2012 and 2013 combined, more than 40,000 attachments were issued. So we asked Judge Charbonnet, is municipal court turning into a place where defendants simply don't show up?
It's the worst case scenario.
Orleans Parish Traffic Court shares a building with the municipal court and also has 4 elected judges. They issued right around 1,000 attachments a year over the same time frame. The clerk of municipal court tells the I-Team that 99.9% of attachments issued are for defendants' failure to appear for court when they are served to appear.
The summons says that failure to appear could cause you to be found in contempt of court and a warrant to be issued for your arrest. I don't know how much more incentive you need.
But some defendants say the fault isn't exclusively theirs. They tell the I-Team the court isn't doing a good job of informing them of the status of their cases.
I was not aware of any attachment issue.
Benjamin Bradshaw says he had no idea he was wanted until he was questioned by a cop who ran his name, noticed the attachment, and arrested him.
There was no real explanation. The arresting officer informed me that I had a warrant out for my arrest.
So Bradshaw spent the night in the Orleans Parish Prison. He went to court in early December and asked for a continuance in his case. He tells us it was granted, but records show that on December 22nd, another attachment was issued for his arrest. He claims he's never missed a court date and had no idea the attachment was issued until we told him.
I believe to an extent falling through the crack, but I mean, I don't think I'm the only one. I think there's many of them out there.
An allegation Judge Charbonnet denies. She says everyone who's issued a misdemeanor summons is told they have to appear in court, and it's their responsibility to show up and, more importantly, keep up with their case. If not, the judges are prepared to drop the hammer.
In a civilized society, you have to have law and order.
Judge Charbonnet says that she and her colleagues are doing the right thing by issuing so many arrest warrants. But with a well-documented police shortage in the city of New Orleans, we look into a bigger concern for some. Are there any real consequences if an attachment is issued for your arrest? And are the police really trying to track anyone down?
Many jurisdictions are allowing some of the lesser offenders to not be sought out and hunted down and brought back into custody.
They go into the system and they enter the attachment, and that's as far as it goes.
Tonight at 10, what some judges say needs to happen to fix the problem and what type of priority the NOPD puts on these misdemeanor arrest warrants. Hear from the chief coming up at 10 o'clock. Scott and Camille.
All right, Travers, thank you. And if you want to make sure that there isn't an attachment in your name, we've provided the information that you will want to review to see the list of public records we used for this story, including the list of attachments issued by the judge of municipal court. In 2014, we made it easy for you. Log on to our website, WDSU.com.